everybody. Welcome to the Pantry Party Show with your host, DJ Blattner. Hey, it's another week of the Pantry Party Show. Hope you had a nice Memorial Day weekend. And now it's back to the kitchen. And we have a special guest for you today on the Pantry Party Show. We have Elite Nutrition. So, are you ready to get this party started? I know I am. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Pantry Party Show. Nice to see you. I just have soothing, that song to begin. It's just like so soothing. I'm so glad to be back. It was a nice long weekend. Hey Alec, how are you? Oh, nice to see everybody. Isabel, Smith Nutrition, what's up? Perks, oh my gosh, hey, I'll give you a wave. What's up? So hey you guys, it's good to see you. We have a fabulous guest. I call her Sporty Spice. I'm gonna get my disco ball and get ready to say a warm pantry party welcome everybody. Hey Trish. Oh, wrong thing, kids. Oh boy, here we go. Anticipation. Oh my gosh.
Hello!
Oh. Hey, what's up? At Elite Nutrition, how are you?
Oh, I am wonderful. How are you?
Oh, I'm so excited that you agreed to do this because it's, for me, a great excuse for us to chat.
I know, right? It's been a long time since Fancy, since I got to see you.
Well, I feel like that's what sparked my interest in you, and you love sports. You are my sporty spice.
I do love sports.
Talk to me about where your sports passion came from.
So, honestly, it started when I was a kid. My dad is a sports medicine doctor, so I can remember even like 4 or 5 years old being in the stands of Husker football games and basketball games and just, I don't know, just always being around sports. And then I was kind of an athlete myself, and I'll say kind of more of a recreational athlete, not very competitive, but I was a swimmer and also a dancer. So yeah, so I got to enjoy the physical side of sports too, instead of just watching from the stands.
Well, so then you say, okay, I grew up all sporty. You become a dietitian. So was it just you knew right away that was the specialty you were going to lean into, or did this sort of happen?
So it was actually, I'm trying to think, my sophomore year of high school, I got to shadow the dietitian at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. And so I just shadowed him for like a week just to see if this is what I wanted to do. Because I kind of got interested in nutrition around like 8th and 9th grade, I'd say. I actually, as a swimmer, I realized when I would eat something like, I would always get the same thing, and you're going to laugh, but it was the Junior Whopper value meal from Burger King with a Dr. Pepper and extra mayo. And then I would get in the pool and be like, oh my gosh, like I'm so sluggish. I have stomach aches. Like, why am I doing so terribly when I try to swim? And it was like a light bulb moment when I'm like, oh, like maybe it has to do with what I eat. And so then I realized when I changed what I ate, that I felt so much better in the pool. And I'm like, gosh, why doesn't everyone do this? So that's kind of when it like started evolving my interest in nutrition. And then from there, like I said, I shadowed the sports dietitian at Nebraska, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do.
Oh my gosh. Listen, I love that story of like your aha moment. What grade were you in?
Honestly, I think I was in 8th grade, 8th or 9th grade.
I mean, come on. So like you born to do this, like legit, right? I love the epiphany of like, whoa, wait a second, this Junior burger doesn't, because I ate the same stuff in high school. I lived at McDonald's. So the fact that you sort of put it all together, I love it. And so, all right, so you have a real passion for this. And so you basically you've been virtual for a long time. So under quarantine, this isn't totally different for you.
Right, yeah. So I'd say about probably pre-quarantine, like 75% of my clients were already virtual. They live nationwide, all over the country. And especially, I do work with a lot of baseball players. So they were, a lot of them in Arizona, a lot of them in Florida, and then they all kind of scattered, went back home. So they've all kind of been virtual. So it wasn't like a huge Difference for me, I think obviously the people that I see here in Nebraska, that was hard because then I couldn't see them in person for a while. Now it's like slowly started to open up again, which has been wonderful. But yeah, for a while it was like 100% virtual.
Well, I'll tell you this. I just think that's when I saw you at Fancy, our food conference, and you were like, listen, I love talking and helping people with sports, and I don't want to landlock myself with one place or even one sport. It's like I want to help people who need help, and they can be from anywhere. Now,
Right.
I went to your website and through your link in bio, of course, Instagram always first. So at Elite Nutrition, I went there, clicked your link in bio, and girl, you can tell you want to help people buy the kinds of stuff you have on your website. You have things like helping people with weight gain, which, hello, as athletes, how many times has that been a topic that I've had to deal with? You have things about meal planning, right? And even freebie stuff like how to snack and like the good and bads of intermittent fasting. I mean, you can tell that you're creating this stuff not just because you think it's going to be cool, but because you think it's going to help people.
Right, exactly. Honestly, the content that I create, it comes directly from my clients, comes directly from my followers. I got a lot of, as far as the freebies on like the free snacking guide and the free intermittent fasting guide, that's just like the pros and cons, going through the evidence, because there's a lot of mumbo jumbo on the internet. You don't know what to believe. So I go through the actual science, backed information on it. And that's all just part of my newsletter. So people get that for free. And then I do have the ebooks that, what are they? The meal prepping guide and the weight gain manual. Those are available on my website too. So, but yeah, everything I create, it comes from like, hey, I want you to talk about this. I want you to talk about this. And once it gets to the point that I hear it, every other day, every day, it's like, all right, obviously this is a lacking resource. I need to create something here.
I mean, I'm giving you a disco ball for that. I mean, for real, I can tell just by going, that's exactly that. Enough people asked you that you're like, fine, I'll put this together already.
Yes.
I love that. So is that really most of your day is seeing virtual clients? Is that how you spend most of your day?
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually also a personal trainer too. So I like to kind of include that. I've been doing it for 10 years now. And honestly, it kind of breaks up the whole like talking about food all day long, even though a lot of my personal training clients will ask me about food while we're training. But I love it because it just does kind of, change the pace a little bit. But I'd say, yeah, for the most part, it's a lot of virtual meetings, one-on-one meetings, whether it's weight loss, weight gain, gastrointestinal health, something related to improving your performance. Mostly athletes, I'd say probably 90% athletes, or at least active people overall. So yeah, it's a really good mix. And kind of like you said earlier, it keeps things interesting. Not, yes, I'm staying in one place, but I'm meeting with clients all over virtually. So it's kind of cool. I get to meet with one type of athlete 1 hour and then a totally different type the next. So it's been really fun.
That's interesting. So would you say like, there's main buckets that you tended, the topic is over and over, like you said, a lot of people contact you for weight gain, so you even have that manual for it because they want to bulk up muscle or whatever.
Yeah.
What are the other ones you said are probably weight loss and then also like GI stuff? Are those like the three major reasons why people come to see you?
Yeah, I'd say more times than not, people are wanting to improve their body composition, right? So they're either wanting to put lean mass on, or they're wanting to lose body fat, or a combination of both. That's definitely one that I get a lot. I also get one, just the other day I got one about recovery. They really want to maximize recovery from an injury. So if I have an athlete that's like constantly getting stress fractures, or they just got out of surgery for maybe something like a J pouch procedure, then that's something where their entire colon, large intestine is removed. So I do also work with a lot of gastrointestinal health. So if I have athletes that are like, hey, I'm experiencing upset stomach during all of my runs, or I'm going to the bathroom 2 or 3 times during this however many mile long race, how can I prevent that? Then that's another big inquiry I get, is how can I maximize my nutrition around the times that I'm training and racing?
Yeah, I love that. Do you get a lot of people who are contacting you for like that true performance nutrition of like, I want to run faster, I want to catch faster, I want to do like real performance stuff?
I do, but usually they say that and they have other goals too. Like I want to be, faster, stronger, everything else, but I also want to improve, decrease my body fat or whatever that might be. So
Yeah.
we try to focus on one area at a time and really, break down their current nutrition. How can we make changes, small changes? How can we get you to your body fat or body composition goals and so on?
I love it. And you said the hot button. I feel like recovery is such a hot, and it's been for a while, such a hot button of like, listen, I want my career as long as I freaking can have this career. I want to make money for as long as I can make money. I need this temple to last for eternity. Like, how do I recover? And so, it doesn't surprise me that you get, the body comp. That makes a lot of sense. Performance stuff, but then also that recovery, man, is like hot button USA.
Huge, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, and I noticed too on your bio Instagram, so not only are you seeing athletes all over the nation, also you have a knack for pretty simple, delicious recipes. So like, is this, so is this a passion of yours too? Like, do you like to cook or do you do it just because you want to put good stuff in?
Well, both, honestly. I mean, I love to cook. I love to make favorite recipes a little bit healthier. So like if someone loves mac and cheese, like how can we tweak it just a little bit? Honestly, it's a lot like your superfood swaps. This is something that
oh girl,
please,
you're gonna say a book title of mine on there. I'm gonna give you a disco.
Yes, so it's basically, how can we make this a little bit healthier by upping the fiber, upping the protein, upping the plants. I myself have been a vegetarian for many years, so of course I encourage plants without pushing it, right? Like I don't want to tell every athlete, you have to be plant-based, you have to be a vegetarian, you have to be vegan, but I definitely try to say, hey, how can we get more variety here in the plants in your diet? So I love to cook. I honestly don't love to bake. I've come to realize that. But I do. I love to cook. I think it's relaxing and it's fun to create new things and yeah, I love it.
Well, we are going to tap into your sporty spice nature and your love of cooking to give the Pantry Party Show a great idea that we could sort of take for the week and make our own. But listen up. I heard a rumor that somebody may have a book coming out next year.
That's correct. Yes. And I feel like you of all people know how long it takes for a book from start to finish. It's crazy. But I actually started it the end of 2018 and then signed a book deal last September. And so it'll be published, I think like May of next year. So spring, wow. Or late spring of next year. So I can't remember the title or anything, but yeah, it's been a really fun journey. It's going to be all completely geared towards sports nutrition. So not only does it provide a ton of education on pre, during, post, and all the aspects of sports nutrition, but it also has dozens and dozens of recipes geared towards athletic performance and recovery.
Oh, hey, seriously, Angie, at Elite Nutrition, congratulations. That's, it's beautiful. And what I love about it, it's a book that is your passion, right? It's not just like, I'm going to write a book to get a book out there. It's like you are doing your passion and what you're good at, the problem that you solve for people out there. Like, beautiful. I can't wait to get my grubby little hands on it. Oh my gosh. It's so exciting. Well, so here's the deal. I'm really looking forward to having some sort of meal inspiration, whether this is something that you do yourself all the time or something that you've been wanting to make and haven't. What can you share with the Pantry Party Show today of like an inspiration at Elite Nutrition meal?
Yes. So, well, it's actually, and I have it here in front of me too. It's not a meal, it's a snack. It's a nutritious snack to try to get, because one thing I educate my clients on is how can you get both protein and produce, or protein and fiber at each snack. So of course, protein and fiber are super filling, super nutritious. So I have here, this is not cooked yet, some edamame that I'm going to roast. So I put a little bit of parchment paper down, and then this is just frozen edamame that's already shelled. I just laid it out flat. And then I like to use a nonstick spray, olive oil over the top. And literally the only ingredient is just olive oil, so no extra stuff. And I just kind of spray the top until it gets just a really light coating. And then I'll put some sea salt from my here from my little spice cabinet.
Ooh, I like that you have a spice cabinet. Of course she does, because she's sporty spice.
Yes. So here I just put a little bit of salt on top, and then I usually roast it on 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. I'll give it like a good shake, and then I don't add any more spices until it's out of the oven, because I feel like otherwise it kind of dries out a little bit. So then once I take it out, I might add like a little bit of like garlic powder or a paprika, or like just black pepper, anything like that. But yeah, it's pretty easy. And then about a half a cup of a serving gives you 9 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber. So it's a great snack. Super easy snack.
I love that. You got me, because you're sort of like, well, you know, what is this? Like roasted edamame? Why? You could see people even thinking like, oh, you know, why? Okay, those are stats, claim to fame. You're like, what could I possibly eat that's that much protein and that much fiber all in one?
Yep, exactly. And it's super good. It's really nutritious. It's delicious. You can also, if you have a soy allergy and you can't do the edamame, then I say do the exact same thing, but with chickpeas. So I'll get a can of chickpeas, drain and rinse them, dry them off really well with a towel, and then do the exact same thing. Super easy, super cost effective, and chickpeas last forever. I know a lot of people, it's hard to get to the grocery store very often. So getting several cans of chickpeas, they last like years in your pantry.
You know what, I love it. And I really like your tips, because listen, this is not my first rodeo of trying to roast beans, okay? I have tried, I'm sure I have lots of even recipes out there, but to be honest, I feel like they dry out on me, and then it's like, maybe that's the key, is your tip of the world of the mist of olive oil with just the salt, and don't put your other seasonings on yet. Because that's what I do. I season them up, like, oh, my creative juices are all over the place, and then I bake it, and it's so dry.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, too, before putting it on the baking sheet to bake it, definitely dry them. Like, definitely take a towel and dry off. Because if you, like, just rinse your chickpeas, then they're going to be covered in water, and I just feel like they're not going to get crunchy, right? They're going to get just kind of way too chewy. And I like that crunch, I feel like. So definitely dry them off really well, lay them out flat so that they're not all on top of each other, and then just roast them up. They're delicious.
I like it. You've gotten a lot of love over here. Tomato Wellness says, love pulses. You've got J Lolo says, I love this. Great idea. That we have Trish, the dietitian, says that she's done it with chickpeas, but not edamame. I feel like edamame had such a moment, and then like people have sort of forgotten about it. So I feel like this is a good reminder for us. Now, here's my other situation that I think perhaps I'm doing something screwball, because how do you save them? Like, how do you keep them? Because what I tend to do is put them in a container, I put a lid on it, and then all of a sudden they become chewy, bad.
So I'll be honest, I actually don't, and I don't even know if this is the right thing to do, but with my chickpeas, I don't refrigerate them. I actually keep them in a mason jar, and I try not to, like, I feel like if you have the lid like too closed down, then it will kind of just get soggy. I wait until they're completely like room temperature, so they're not still hot and steamy, and then I'll kind of close the lid. I might leave just like a tiny little space, but I do try to eat them pretty quickly. So I never make like too much that they're going to be in my pantry for like a week. I usually try to use them over the next, like, if not 2, maybe potentially 3 days. But if you don't eat them as a snack, I often throw them on top of a salad for like an actual meal. So like just last night, I had roasted chickpeas on top of a big salad for some more protein. And so I feel like as long as you use them within a couple days, it should be fine to not keep in the fridge. Should be okay.
I agree with you. I think the faux pas #fail that I have is covering them. Like,
yeah.
What's the horror here? You know, DJ, you could just put them in a jar. You don't have to tightly lid it up. Keep it on the counter, and then you'll like them for a couple of days. And I like your points. What that actually, in my mind, is the ultimate superfood crouton swap, is like taking out your croutons and putting in your crunchy edamame. I love that.
Yes, yeah. So that's definitely the snack that I've been having a lot this quarantine, is this edamame or chickpeas.
And do you do it solo, or do you pair it with anything else? Or are you usually just having that as your
I usually munch throughout the day. So I might have this and an orange, or I love snacking on fruit. So but I don't like to do just fruit by itself. I like to have something else because otherwise it doesn't really fill me up. So I might do like a cutie or a kiwi or an orange, like I said, an apple, and then have a nice serving of this as well.
I like this. Okay, so is that your style of eating? Is you're more of a snacker rather than a three meals?
Yes, I definitely always eat breakfast and lunch, and then I feel, or breakfast and dinner, and then I feel like lunch is like snack, snack, snack. That's usually.
Yes. Yes, I think that is, you know what, I feel like we need that to be more of a mainstream. Like, I've been calling them like graze boards, snack boards, lunch
Yes.
boards, or whatever. So you have, it's more like, yeah, snacky snack. All right, so here's the question for you that popped into my head as you were talking, and I was like, oh, I'm thinking about your life. You're seeing all these clients virtually, then you're doing a personal training, da, da, da. What's your personal fitness stuff? Like, what do you love to do? Like, what's your fitness routine?
That's a really good question. So I do have a Peloton bike, and I've been riding a lot more recently. But I do love strength training. So we've got like a little gym in our garage that I do train some clients in. So some type of like barbell TRX type circuit. That's my go-to. But I honestly I love it all. I love cardio. So some days I might take my dog out for a run. I think the hard part is I'm not signed up for any sort of like race or event. Sometimes I'll do different like short distance triathlons or something, which kind of motivate me to have a set routine. But lately in quarantine, I don't have anything set up. So I just kind of do whatever I feel like that day. If it's strength training, I do strength training. If it's more cardio, I do cardio. So I do try to mix it up though and have a good balance. I don't ever just stick to one and not so much the other.
All right, so a good mix. I figured that you were going to say a good mix. So you
Yeah.
do train people like when you're out and up and training. Is that typically where you train them? Is in your gym?
Honestly, I train most of them at their house. I go to their home. Yeah, so I do in-home training. So I go to their home, and that's why the only people I personal train are here in my hometown. But they all have gyms at home, and then I do have a couple that if they don't have a gym, we made in my garage, which is a lot better than it sounds. Training them out in a garage.
I like it. Come to my garage.
Yeah, garage.
I love that. Now you said something that really it tricked or triggered or whatever. Is that you tend to usually like to have something on the calendar as your sort of motivator or like your training thing. So is that like, say quarantine aside, that would be your like recommendation to people who are like, I want to be as active as at Elite Nutrition. I want to be just like Angie. It's like, would that be your first tip is sort of like get something on the calendar that's like a race or a triathlon or something?
100%. Even if it's just like a challenge with your friends, just do something that's like motivating you to work out. Because I feel like it can be really hard to get in that routine every single day when we have everyday life happening too, and to make positive changes too. We can kind of get stuck in a rut and do the same things over and over. So this way, if you really challenge yourself, you sign up for maybe your first half marathon or maybe your first sprint distance triathlon, something like that, to really challenge yourself and motivate you to work out maybe in a different way than you're used to, or just work out a little bit harder than you're used to. I think it's so much fun. And that sprint and Olympic distance triathlons, those are a lot of fun. Do it with a friend.
To somebody who's listening like me, I'm like, oh my God, that sounds very scary. I did a half marathon once because I was on a reality show that made us do a half marathon.
Yes. Oh,
so I mean, and you're right. There was something, it was very fun to have it on the calendar. It made it like exciting to go out and like train and, follow a routine of like, oh, cross train day or like long run day or whatever. So I do feel like you're right. Having something on the calendar and like a training schedule. Because I do feel like there's that thing where it's decision fatigue. Like, oh, I could do Peloton. I could go in my garage. I could do a jog with my dog. I could do this. I could do that.
Yes.
There's so many choices. I'm going to do nothing because I can't even decide what I'm going to do. So like having a schedule or a routine, I feel like does help me.
For sure. 100%. And I feel like I always do have that set routine that now is a little bit different because my schedule is kind of different too. But it does help to say like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to be doing this at this time. Tuesday, Thursday, I'll do this at this time. And then maybe Saturday's your rest day or whatever else. But having that plan, I feel like just helps set you up for success for sure. And the races, those events, those are so much fun too. And I think it is kind of encouraging if you have someone else pushing you, whether it's a family member or a friend to kind of keep you on track. It's funny. I have several Ironman and ultra runners. And so, I'll look at their training schedule and be like, I could never do this. They have like a 16-mile run followed by the next day, like a 22-mile run. I'm like, this is all in 2 days. Like, what? This is crazy. So yeah, but I feel like having that set routine, set schedule, it really does help.
You know what? I just even like, thinking about you hanging around these people, like, you know what I mean? Like, it normalizes it for you. It's like, oh, of course, people do Ironmans, they do triathlons. So like, I do feel the idea of doing it with somebody, or, like I have a lot of gym friends. And
yeah.
So it's like, it normalizes fitness because you're like with people who are fit people. Like,
right.
I do feel like there is something to getting a pal involved in things, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a question of what is the best first step to set a good example as a parent?
Oh, good. So as far as nutrition or fitness, I'd say either way, just make it a positive experience. So like I'll say fitness, for example, instead of saying like, oh, I have to go work out and making it negative or talking about your body in a negative way, that automatically kind of makes them associate activity or exercise or just how you feel about your body in a negative tone. So always make it fun. Try to find a way to engage them. So especially now, if you're stuck at home, maybe do an at-home workout video with them. I think that would be so fun. I know, speaking of Peloton again, they have like family classes available that you can do with your kids. So that's kind of a cool way to encourage them to be active. And then as far as nutrition, get them in the kitchen, regardless of how old they are. If they can stand on a little stool, I remember so I don't have any kids myself, but I have 4 nieces and nephews, and I've cooked with them many times, and I'll get the blender out to make smoothies, because smoothies are super easy, right? They just put their little hand in there and throw the ingredients in. And so I remember my nephew grabbing the kale and saying, can I add the salad yet? And here he's all excited about adding the salad. I'm like, this is amazing. Of course, then we also put some honey and some fruit and some yogurt, but still, get them kind of excited about what they're making. And then if they are a part of the cooking, they'll be so much more excited to try it, right? Because it's something that they made, that they created. So I think getting them involved in the kitchen, even in just little projects, I think that would be a good first step.
I love that answer, and I will tell you this, it's also the best answer for adults who are like, how do I get motivated? It's like, use positivity and get in the kitchen and have some fun. Like, I think that it is, a lot of times we give this advice to kids, a lot, and it's like, and turn that around and give that advice right back to yourself. I love it. Oh, girl, I could talk to you forever, but I can't tell you how much I appreciate you bringing your sporty spice know-how and this very smart, high-protein, high-fiber snack that edamame, lightly seasoned at first, and then do your seasoning at the end, I think is like the top tip that I'm going to try. Because I have edamame. I feel like, doesn't everybody have edamame, that like little half-used bag in their freezer? I feel like they do. I feel like they do. So I'm about to do it.
Keeping it together. Yep, that's me.
Yes, exactly. So I think you've inspired me and anybody else out there who has that edamame bag to roast them and have them as a good snack. I think that is so smart, but also to your brand, it's easy that people will actually do. Now, if people want to get more of your magical sporty spice ways at Elite Nutrition, what should they do? Where should they go?
Well, you can find me most frequently on Instagram at Elite Nutrition, ELEAT. And then you can also find me on my website, same exact handle, elitenutrition.com. I post lots of blogs and recipes. You can subscribe to my newsletter there, where bi-weekly I send out some topic that I was asked about, either by followers or by my own clients.
I cannot stress it enough. At Elite Nutrition, and that's a good point, how you spell it. ELEAT, like a pun.
Yes.
Elite Nutrition. Going to your Instagram as the first stop, and then click link in bio. You gotta sign up for her newsletter. I'm telling you, you can tell it's stuff we're all gonna use. I'm gonna go sign up. I was like, I'm just gonna talk to her first, and I'm gonna go sign up now. I just think you're great, Angie. Thank you so much for being a guest on the Pantry Party Show.
Me, this is so fun.
Bye. I gotta go to make edamame.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, everybody, that was episode of the Pantry Party Show with @Elite Nutrition, ELEAT Nutrition. She is what I know her as, Sporty Spice. So all of your sports nutrition questions and needs, check her out. And like I said, the rumor has it confirmed today. She has a book coming out next year. How exciting. So that was today, the Pantry Party Show. We're all making roasted edamame. Tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, I have wonderful guests lined up. So make sure that you set your alarms, put it in your calendar. The Pantry Party Show, noon Central Time for the rest of the week. All right, until next time, sending you high immunity vibes, big love, and lots of kisses. Bye, guys.